What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully, you guys had a good weekend, and we are on Monday. We got the week ahead, so get ready for that. The fusions are finishing up here for Folan. Make sure you guys are wrapping up all your events. Let's kick it up here. We got a couple of event announcements happening shortly. It's quite a bit to unpack, so I'm going to break it down here step by step. So, first event we have happening tomorrow during CBC, and it will be a progressive event. So 15x boosted chance on any of these champions of your choice. It looks like it's going to be all the champions here from Sacred Order. There's a couple of standouts here. Obviously, Falman Mornsword. Falman is the faction Unity champion. He is a damage dealer. Some pretty cool faction ally stuff happening with his kit. He can be immune to cooldown increasing effects, which is pretty cool. He has some ignore damage in his kit, so he's going to be dealing some damage. And then his A3 here, it's going to be a strip, and then the damage will scale off of the buffs that are stripped off. He's generally a damage dealing threat, especially when paired up with the other Sacred Order champions. Up next, we have Glacea Soul Guy. Glacea, very, very powerful right now. One of the more accessible ways to deal with lockout champions in the arena. Her passive, well, this entire kit was actually fully reworked, and she gained a lot of value from that. She's immune to being locked out, and she has a 50% chance of denying cooldown increasing effects. She also places a freeze on the enemy that tries to lock her out, or anybody on your team. And she also gets an instant turn whenever somebody tries to lock out you or your team. Now, what can she do with that instant turn? Well, she can come in, strip all your stuff, and place a weekend, or she can CC you with the freeze. She also places block debuffs on your whole team with a turn meter boost. I think her kit's pretty good, especially when facing lockout champions. Obviously, the extra turn into a buff steal or into like full freeze can be very, very annoying. She also has an A1 here that freezes with the debuff spread. I actually pick her quite often in live arena if I'm up against like Fabian, for example. Definitely worth using and very solid actually in areas like Faction Wars. Up next, we have Vaultkeeper Wixwell. Wixwell, a lot of people after this guy, especially with the Fusion Token Trader. Very solid champion for progression if you have him early on. Very good. It's going to be your easy access to a 1-key Ultra Nightmare Clan boss if you have, a couple key sets, but not too much in terms of stat or champion requirements. Pretty easy to build those teams. It's got an A1 provoke, 100% against bosses. And then you got the A3 here, decrease attack with the shield growth. This is the key attack, key ability here for his whole kit. And then he's got an A3, good defensive kind of ability, 3-turn cooldown, intercept, increase defense, and shield. His passive plays his counterattack on himself. Feels kind of meh, but synergizes pretty well to provoke. But yeah, Wixwell, very, very strong. Very good against the bosses. Obviously, key component to tightest teams. After that, we have Archbishop Pinthroy. He's going to be Spirit Affinity. This guy, I would probably say he's probably below average, even for progression. He doesn't really bring too much. Brings increased defense, shield, a bit of a heal. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. So if you compare this to Wixwell's 3-turn cooldown, it's not even that good. The big thing for him is that he does bring an AoE block buff on a 3-turn cooldown, which is obviously very useful for areas like Hydra. The heal reduction could also be useful for areas like Amius, like the chest in the Grim Forest could be useful. His passive, not super strong, removes decreased defense and weaken from this champion at the start of each turn. Maybe if he protected the whole team, it would make more sense. But yeah, it's generally not super strong kit. Could be useful in some areas, but hard to invest the books and be okay with it on this champion. And then lastly, for the non-void champions, we have Corvus the Corruptor. Corvus places a bunch of poisons, decreased attack on the A1, very good against clan boss. It's got the increased duration of all enemy debuffs, so that's very good if you land like poisons, so you can increase the duration of them. Second hit increases the duration of all ally buffs, so he does have a buff extender on his kit, so he's good for Wixwell teams. And then he places the poison sensitivity with 2 poisons on a 4-turn cooldown, up to 4 poisons. So it's 2 per hit on a double hit. And this is on a 4-turn cooldown. Otherwise, he doesn't have any other way to place poisons. Decrease the damage enemies under poison debuffs inflict. 5 per poison up to 25%. So yeah, not a bad champion for like clan boss and stuff. This passive can work with other poisoners also. Yeah, not a bad champion. Going into the Void champions here, we got Lady Noelle. Very solid champion, was a fusion a couple years ago for Christmas. Bringing one of the best revives in the game. You got 3-turn AoE team revive, 50% turn meter, 50% HP, and then places 100% freeze on the enemy, giving your revive champions a chance to come back and get a turn. Got a big speed in arena battles. She's 105 base speed, A1 block buffs, and then she's got this sheep removal on a single target, increased speed. The big thing about her is that she has this crazy synergy with Sir Nicholas, in that if she uses this A2 on Sir Nicholas, Sir Nick will place the unkillable on everybody. So it gets kind of crazy when you have both of them together, cycling through the unkillable buffs. Really strong in like PvP teams, and really strong against some boss content. Like you can use this combo to tackle some of the hardest PvE areas also. Yeah, she's a really, really solid like progression champion. Up next for the voids, we have Sir Nicholas. So we have Sir Nick and Lady Noelle being offered. Nick got a buff here, and yeah, he's really strong now. He's got an 8100% chance to freeze. This could be a negative if you're fighting against Wanda submission, so you can freeze yourself, get sent back, of course. And then he has this big AoE smack, 30% ignore defense if Noelle's on the team. Strengthen, shield, pretty high value attack, hits pretty good. And then the 4-turn unkillable continuous heal. Now it's upgraded to with a counterattack and a taunt. This is a lot of stuff, a lot of value in this ability. So really good for Sir Nick. And then lastly, his passive also got reworked, and it's really good now as well. Enemy ignore defense effects used against allies under shield buffs are decreased by 30%. So it's not even shield buffs that he places, it's shield buffs in general. So it could be just, like a random shield set. Yeah, it's really, really strong. And then if Lady Noelle's on the same team, it's decreased by 60%. Good damage champion. The A1 is super annoying since it's guaranteed. Very useful against PvE waves. And then lastly, for the Void champions here on day 1, we have Cardio. Cardio, still very solid champion, speed in all battles. He's got this 4-turn ally attack. It's still very good. The whole team attacks, crit rate, crit damage buff. And then if you kill somebody, you decrease the skill, this skill by 1 turn if an enemy is killed. So not too bad. And then you got the standard 3-turn cleanse here with the block debuffs, and then a protected revive on death. That's pretty solid. A1 team heal, and then a passive join in attack, which is also very good just for some extra damage and to finish off enemies. So that's going to be day 1. We got a bunch of Sacred Order stuff. Let's take a look at day 2. It's going to be something similar. We do have a progressive event, and I'm going to put that on screen right now. So on Wednesday, so this is day 2, guys, June 17th, planning to launch the same thing, progressive event. And this time is going to be focused on the Dwarves faction. Okay, so the Dwarves faction. First up, we have the faction Unity champion, Black Tusk. Admiral Black Tusk here. This guy can bring some pretty cool stuff for a dwarf only team. You kind of see here at the start of each round. So if he has 3 faction allies, you place a stone skin buff on all allies. That's pretty cool. So your whole team starts off with stone skin. This guy's kit is super annoying. Also, he brings a bunch of crowd control. He has a team cleanse here on the A2. Yeah, stuns on the A1, stuns on the A2. A3. And he has this ridiculous cleanse ally attack here on a 3-turn cooldown is A2. Really good champion, especially with the dwarves. Can make a lot of stuff work. He brings a lot. Crowd control, damage boosting, debuffs, ally attack, so you can be an offensive threat, and then a bunch of crowd control. So very annoying champion, very good champion for the dwarves. Up next, we have Osgron the Defiler. Osgron, kind of like Armanz in a way, but he does bring ally attack. Ally attack is very useful in the meta with Mercurial in it. Speed in arena battles, similar to Armanz. And then he's got, like I said, this ally attack. Increased attack with Shatter, 4-turn cooldown. He also has this pretty cool ability here. It's a strip ability with a turn meter pushback. And a conditional stun on a 3-turn cooldown. It's very strong. Obviously, turn meter pushback's not going to be very good against Stone Skin or Mercurial. And this is a touchless ability as well, so it's not going to be super great, but the ally attacks you can use instead and take out somebody really important. His passive can also be very good. He gives you a little bit of a damage boost if they're under stun. And then this one's actually really fun on a 4-turn cooldown. If one of your allies is killed, he instantly comes in with the A2. So he instantly comes in with a buff strip, turn meter pushback, and stun potential. So it's actually really something that can catch you off guard if you're not ready for it. So that's going to be Osgron. Up next, we have Hilvi, the Rhyme Called. Hilvi was one of the last Deck of Fate champions that I actually did because I skipped the Basim back in February, and I think that was the last guaranteed champion that we had from a Deck of Fate. Hilvi was that champion. Hilvi, probably one of the best Deck of Fate champions ever. Very strong champions. Got the speed in all battles. Very nice. Decreased defense on the A1. It's got a 3-turn enemy strip with a freeze debuff. Unfortunately, it's a hitless ability, so it's not great against Mercurial. And then lastly, her revive's insane. 4-turn revive with a block damage, increased speed. And you can use this ability without having anybody dead. So if nobody's dead, you place block damage, increased speed, and you get a turn meter boost. So nice flexibility in this kit. And then on the passive here, whenever an enemy receives a freeze, this champion steals one random buff from them, places an HP burn on them, and decreases their turn meter by 10%. She has some pretty nice synergies with Tormund. If Tormund is on the same team, has a 25% chance of instantly activating his A1. Actually, Rhymefire's his A3, I believe. Let me just double check. Rhymefire. No, it's his A1. So his A1. So Hilvi, whenever you use just Hilvi's A1, Tormund's A1 can also pop off. Tormund will also be using his A3 whenever she uses her A2. And then on her passive, Tormund's going to gain turn meter boost whenever Hilvi pushes back turn meter. So she's got quite a bit of synergy here with Tormund, but she's a great champion by herself. She doesn't need Tormund to be awesome. Up next, we have Granite Doorkeep. Granite here was a fusion during the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collab. He's supposed to be a damage dealer. He can deal damage. I've faced some Granites with quite a bit of damage. With this A3, it can definitely delete some champions. He ignores unkillable stone skin block damage. And he self buffs with shatter, increased crit damage. This ability can absolutely delete. His A2 also is one of the best decreased defense block buff AoE abilities in the game. On a 3-turn cooldown, also bringing increased accuracy. This ability does not hit hard, but yeah, it's one of the craziest abilities for the decreased defense block buff variant. It's got an A1 here. This is super annoying. Triple hit. Each hit has a chance to remove a random buff, and he also brings some ignore defense there also. His passive gives him a little bit of damage boost and some crowd control protection. Seemingly, could be a good champion. He's HP based. He can hit hard. I've seen him hit hard, but I think generally people can't really get this guy to hit hard enough to be a big offensive threat. But either way, you can build him for offense or defense. So very good champion. Up next, we have Yuzul of the Jade. So Yuzul here focuses on extra turn mechanics. His damage goes crazy if he's coming in with extra turns. So the big ability here is this one. Ignores 100% stone skin and 100% of the target's defense if this skill was used on a extra turn or instant turn. So he's going to ignore shield block damage, unkillable, and then stone skin and 100% defense if he comes in with the extra turn or instant turn. This is pretty crazy. It's on a 3-turn cooldown also, if you can get it to land, right? His A2, it's an AoE attack. It's a decreased defense. Has a chance to give him an extra turn, and his A1 also gives him a chance of an extra turn. His passive, if any ally has the chance to gain extra turn, increase that chance by 5%. So if you have like a relentless set or something on, then you get an extra 5% of extra turns. And like I said, he gains a little bit of damage scaling here for extra turns. It's an interesting mechanic. I haven't really seen this guy ever get used in anything too serious. And that's going to be it for the non-voids. For the void champions here, we got Senna Amberheart, still one of the powerhouse engines for the biggest damage teams, for Chimera, for example, for Hydra. She's got an A1, instantly activate continuous heals. She has crazy synergy here with continuous heals, right? She got 3-turn increased speed, continuous heals on everybody with the turn meter fill. Nice little boost effect. And then she's got a revive here on a 4-turn cooldown. Revives everybody and teams up with all the revived allies to attack the lowest HP. It's an interesting ability. Her passive, whenever continuous heal activates, fills turn meter of all allies by 5%. At the end of this champion's turn, increase the duration of a continuous heal on a random ally for 1 turn. And then speed in all battles, 113 base speed, super, super fast. But like I said, she has crazy synergy with continuous heals with her A1. Whenever she uses her A1, everybody gets a turn meter boost because continuous heals are being activated. So you pair her up with other continuous heal champions or buff extension champions. And then you're just going to get crazy amounts of turn meter from her. It takes lots of turns, cycle through all your abilities, get back to your big abilities. And that's how you deal big damage with Senna. Pretty easy. And then what's next? We have Acrizia here. Acrizia max damage in our whole kit. A1 max damage, A2 max damage, A3 max damage. Yeah, I mean, she is, over time, she would deal a ton of damage because all her abilities have enemy max HP. So over time, if she has enough turns to basically utilize all her abilities, she's going to be able to deal probably more damage than like somebody like Newt, for example, who just has 1 enemy max HP hit. But the thing with Newt is that he has a 3-hit max HP on 1 skill. Acrizia only has 2. That's the problem with Acrizia. She only has a 2-hit. So per skill, she's going to do less damage than somebody like Newt. But over time, because Newt has to cycle through like his A1 and A2 to get back to his, his triple hit max HP, Acrizia can just use her A1, A2, and she's going to get continuous damage from her whole kit. Whereas somebody like Newt, you just utilize him for 1 ability, but he's going to be the better with that 1 ability. So generally speaking, somebody like Newt with the better single ability is better than Acrizia with the better overall kit. So Acrizia would be better than like Newt in areas like Hydra, long duration fights. But Newt's going to be better in a lot of different areas where you just want to utilize him for his single hit. Big thing going for Acrizia is that she is void affinity, which really helps, especially when Newt suffers against affinity issues. But I think Acrizia has probably fell off quite a bit, especially now since we have Marius with the another triple max HP hitter. Lastly, for the Void champions, we have Arnorn the Shining. Arnorn here, attack-based damage. If you have one built out, he can hit really hard. And he has this crazy passive here on a 4-turn cooldown. Prevents his champion's death and keeps them alive on 1 HP when hit by a fatal hit. Places Stone Skin on them, then instantly activates his A3. So he'll come, if you hit him to try to kill him, he'll come back in with the A3, which is really strong. And if he kills somebody, he's going to decrease your turn rate by 50% and it cannot be resisted. You don't need accuracy in his whole kit. He has pretty good damage dealing skills. You see 35% ignore defense here if they're under 2 or more buffs. And you got an A1 stun here also with damage scaling off of buffs on the target. His passive also passively boosts his damage. He's a pretty cool champ. He hits pretty decently hard. He's void affinity also. And he has a cheat death mechanic here. Could be a decent nuker for your account. So that's going to be wrapping up all the champions here on day 2. We got mostly dwarf factions, so really depends what you guys are into for these progressive events. They're usually just bait events to get you guys to lose some of your shards. My advice, probably just hold on to your shards, skip these progressive events. There's actually no Newt in the day 2 for the dwarves. I'm kind of surprised because Newt's so sought after. I would imagine that they put him in there, but no Newt, so that's going to be, a big loss for some people. But yeah, I highly recommend just taking it easy and holding on to those shards unless you have a specific reason to chase something. And then lastly, for a little bit of wrap up in terms of the news here, this is probably the biggest news for the day. And it's going to be this. So first of all, both of the progressive events will last 1 day, 24 hours. So for Wednesday, we're planning to launch a Princely Titan event. Okay, guys, so there it is. We have a Titan event coming up, and it's going to be the perfect soul for Folan Silverheart. So for the most recent fusion, you can earn up to 1,750 Titan points, but you only need 1,500 to unlock all the milestones. This Titan event will feature various rewards such as Folan Silverheart's 1, 3, 5 perfect souls, relics, and other resources. Doesn't really give us too much information, but it does give us, the start time. And they let us know that it's going to have his 1, 3, and 5 star perfect souls. So, for a Titan event, I was kind of expecting it for Folan, and it's pretty much in line with what they did last time for Chaos Awakes. This time, I think like it depends what you did, right? If you complete the fusion, you probably like Folan enough to do it. Like I said on my channel poll, you 2/3 of you guys were going for this fusion. So most of you guys like him. He's favorable. The big thing with him is that he does require accuracy. So going for the 5 star soul is going to be very, very attractive. Um, yeah, I mean, the accuracy is a big part of his kit because it allows him to land the block passives. And I did mention in my showcase of him that the block passive ability on this ability is quite different than the same debuff on Carnage's ability because Carnage is a mythical. He does ignore, he has the ability to ignore 20% of your resistance, which means Carnage is doing more with his accuracy than Folan is. So Folan needs more accuracy to do the same thing. And I would say that's one of the big reasons to push for the 5 star soul for Folan if you want to use him specifically for like something like this ability. I kind of like him a lot because he does bring the unkillable. He could be perhaps, a champion that you bring in against other champions with unkillable buffs. It could maybe make your life a little bit easier. His multipliers aren't crazy. He doesn't hit particularly insane. Somewhere around Sun Wukong, he does have damage scaling if you have more debuffs on everybody. So this can kind of get out of hand. But if we're going to talk about whether his 5 star soul is worth it, I would say absolutely if you plan on using him. They don't really give out too much more information on what else is happening for the Titan event. I would imagine relic materials. They mention relics. So I'm probably going to give away one of the legendary relics from the Chaos Awakes, pool perhaps. And generally speaking, for these Titan events, you would have to probably complete at least one summoning event. So you can skip 250 points out of the total 1750 points if you are, gunning for the 5 star soul. And I think usually you can at least skip one, and usually you have to complete one. But I believe there will be 3 summoning events during this Titan event. Also, keep in mind that there's probably going to be a deck of fate in this Titan event with Titan points, which is one of the hardest events to participate in because you can't guarantee yourself all the Titan points in the deck of fate unless you have all the resources to complete the deck of fate. But anyways, that's just a bit of speculation. We'll talk more about the Titan schedule once it actually comes out. So a lot of stuff going on for the next couple of days. We got 2 progressive events, and then we have the Titan event starting on Wednesday for Folan's 5 star soul. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. Are you guys planning to go for Folan's 5 star soul? Did you guys finish his fusion on time? Let me know in the comments. Appreciate you guys watching until the end. Have a great Monday, and I'll see you guys in the next video.